Hi everyone, welcome to our latest video, Monday the March the 30th. To anyone that hasn't seen anything before, my name is Daniel Chancellor. I work as an analyst and thought leadership director for Pharma Intelligence. So I want to recap what's happened over the weekend, and I suppose it's a case of mixed news. More positively, we are seeing some signs that the measures being taken in Europe are flattening the curve to a certain extent. There is a slowing in the growth of number of new cases of COVID-19. Note, I'm being very careful here with my words. This isn't a decline, but a slowing in the growth and potentially flattening. Although the number of deaths is continuing to rise. As we know, deaths is a kind of somewhat lagging indicator for the spread of the coronavirus. Also, we've seen in the US the predictions made by the potential number of deaths may rise into the six figures, a number that was numbers that were shared by Dr. Fauci, and this has made worldwide news. Today, we're only going to be recording a relatively short video because I want to spend a bit more time looking into the clinical trials and what's going on, when we might find out some really good clinical trial data. But yeah, my message for the moment is just around interpreting the data that we are seeing in the number of cases and the number of deaths. And just being exercising a bit of caution. Case in point, I picked up a tweet by a pretty well followed biotech investor in the US, and he was quoting the trends in the US, and there was actually in his data a very sharp drop in the number of deaths yesterday, and he was kind of putting out there, what's going on here. Some people were speculating, oh, this is clear evidence that the patients that are getting access to remdesivir and hydroxychloroquine in expanded access programs, they're getting that these drugs must be working. There's numbers of deaths are dropping, therefore the mortality must be lowering because we're treating it. The reality is that this is a day-to-day observation. He was looking at the data on Sunday, as we've seen in the UK. Sometimes we get a somewhat artificially lower numbers on the weekend, and then come Monday they rise. Also in the US, there's somewhat of a lag in terms of when each state reports the information, so you can kind of artificially create trends by collecting at a certain time point. What I'd say is leave the modeling, predictions, etc. to the experts. You'll probably save yourself all sorts of angst and anxiety. But if you are dead set on tracing curves on post-it notes, then rather than focusing too much on those day-to-day trends, perhaps look at like a lagging 3-day average or something like that. That's all for today. Please get in touch if there's any topics that you'd like to hear from in particular. I know it's somewhat of a shorter video, so I'll leave you with a recommendation. My colleagues at Scrip, the journalists that work for Scrip and for Pink Sheets, they've recorded an excellent podcast summarising what we know so far about the R&D pipeline, what lessons we can learn from the China response to COVID-19, and then what are the long-term impacts on the sector. Yeah, so do check that one out. But that's all for today. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.